Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Once again, you find yourself on a Thursday afternoon listening to a beer podcast from Sweden. So it must be What's on Tap podcast. Welcome. I am Stefan, and I am once again joined by
Martin
and Karin.
And we are drinking beers, because that's what we do.
A lot.
Yeah. That intro you gave really gave me the chills. It was like, you're about to open the scary door.
I like to think of it as the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, the scary door is the Futurama
Parody.
joke.
Ah, okay.
If you guys want to hook up later, that's fine by me. I have some Netflix to
No,
watch.
we'll
right.
watch all of Futurama later and talk about it for the podcast. It'll be like a 14-hour podcast.
Oof, that would be rough. Because those movies in between the two seasons were kind of harsh. Okay.
With the dog. Yeah.
So we're starting off with barley wine from...
Nynäshamns.
That's not what he wanted you to say.
So Nynäshamns is the brewery, but this is the...
Bötet Barleywine Oloroso fatlagring.
Exactly what you said. I would say it myself, but I don't want to show off. So we got this. I picked a couple of beers today because I was playing up to Karin a little bit because I know she has a love of barley wines and stouts and porters, in particular coconut porters apparently.
Not in particular. You asked me if I liked them.
I did, and you said yes. You said hell yeah, and I was like sweet.
Did I?
So, you did.
Sweet is correct.
The
It'll be
barley
really
wine
sweet.
or the coconut porter?
They will both be really sweet.
I'm sure they will. So this comes in at 9.4%, which I feel is a little low for a barley wine.
Yeah, a bit, maybe a bit low, yeah. But let's stick our noses in it.
All right, let's jump in. This is really, really clear. I mean, really impressed by the clarity and the color of this.
Yeah.
I definitely get the carameliness.
Yep.
Little bit of spiciness.
Classic barley wine.
So what do you think that the Oloroso brings to this? What is that supposed to add? Because I have no idea what... I'm assuming Oloroso is a barrel...
As far as I know, it's red wine.
Okay, so it's a red wine, barrel-aged barley wine.
I was going to guess it's a bourbon.
Well, it's got a barrel.
I don't know.
No, it could be... As you do the research, we will continue to...
Talk about...
If you talk about interesting things, I will actually find out.
Look, we can't promise those kind of conversations.
It's sherry.
Sherry. That makes perfect sense, since it is coming from Spain.
Yes.
But sherry
Yes.
can have sort of a harshness to it.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Let's go.
Oh, yes. The old British lady in me loves this.
This is a really good barley wine.
Yeah. Good aftertaste. The very first flavors that hit my tongue are the sherry flavors, which give like a fruity, almost dried fruit.
Yeah. Now you definitely get the raisin, dates, kind
Apricots,
of apricot.
yeah.
Yeah. Kind of the fruit cakiness of it all. I gotta say, for me, a young barley wine can usually be a little too sweet, a little too syrupy almost. But I think this is really nice, just right out the gate.
Yeah, it's come together. The flavors aren't contradicting each other.
Yeah. It makes me think this is going to store and age really well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some hints of like tobacco.
No?
Do you get tobacco from this? No, of course you do.
No,
but
I mean, not smoke, not cigarette smoke.
Like fresh tobacco leaves.
Tobacco.
Yeah.
No, not snus.
All right.
Like tobacco leaves tobacco.
Yeah.
How often do you get in touch with tobacco leaves?
No, but I have a feeling of the...
Like if you had a cigar kind of tobacco.
Yeah.
Or like that kind of smell.
But
Like
a cigar is sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm agreeing.
Yeah. They're not like cigarette tobacco, but more of a hand-rolled cigar kind
Yeah.
of tobacco. And not like a Maduro, like a dark, but more of the lighter Havana style.
Yeah, are we going to Cuba now? because I was sort of stuck in Britain, but I can see that Havana, una, na. Maybe some prohibition smuggling with a cane based.
Rule Britannia.
All right.
I went back.
Well, do you get kind of a sugarcane?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Like the Prohibition era gangsters who made rum from sugar canes in Florida. And,
sure.
So this beer tells a story.
It does. I mean, we've come up with a couple of geographic locations and places it reminds you of, and I think this is really just kind of the experience you would hope to get from a beer, in particular barley wine, where it really takes you to another time and place. And
yeah, but I mean, Florida is just a part of the colonies, right?
It was one of the original colonies, yes.
Yeah.
He was trying to insult you.
Shh, I know. But, you know, Florida was never really part of America. I mean, it was kind of like the appendix for the long time where, it's like there's America, then there's Florida, and then I still kind of feel it's that way.
I love this Florida man meme that's going around. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because Florida man is...
Florida man wrestles an alligator and breaks into 5 houses.
Yeah, I was watching some movie and they brought that up. It's like, yeah, man, be on the watch for Florida man. And they're like, what are you talking about? He's like, Florida man, does this, and Florida man does that, and Florida man does bath salts and wrestles 5 police officers and then eats a spleen of someone. It's like, okay, I got you.
It's amazing because Florida man has died on numerous occasions.
And yet he still comes back quite often.
Well, superheroes have died in their respective universes.
That's true.
Many, many times over.
But I feel, is it Marvel or is it DC?
They all die.
I would say DC does it more than Marvel.
Florida Man.
Oh, Florida Man. That's definitely a DC character because the name is
too dark.
Well, the name is Man in the title because you don't have like Superman and Batman. You don't have like Marvel characters actually have like proper names.
Ant-Man.
Okay, yeah, but there's also like Captain America. And,
Aquaman.
Aquaman is DC.
Oh, is he? Oh, fuck.
So if it's man or boy or woman or girl, it's almost always a DC character.
Yeah.
But isn't Florida Man the kind of sort of fast-shooting, loose-hanging sort of maverick that Marvel would create, like Star-Lord?
Kind of, yeah. I see where you're going there.
It completely depends on how you read those stories, because if you read them as this gung-ho kind of, I'm just Florida Man, then it's Marvel. But if it's Florida Man eats 10 Tide Pods and... dies.
Okay,
that's so DC. It's so dark.
Then it's a Vertigo title, and that's another story altogether.
But I'm thinking more like, think about this. Florida Man befriends a raccoon and a blue dude and fights crime.
Yeah, but Florida Man wouldn't do that. Florida Man would be a lone man who went on his way and righted wrongs and
befriends
meanwhile killed 20 people in the process, and like a preacher or a Swamp Thing or.
Does
Jonah
really
Hex
Florida
kind of
Man? Does he go around righting wrongs? Doesn't he go around wronging rights?
Probably. It's like a John Constantine kind of character, more or less. Yeah. That would be a great. I would read that comic. If it was just a guy that went around wronging rights, that would be like everything he tries to do is with the best of intention, but just does a horrible job at it and causes more death and destruction than anyone could have possibly imagined.
Yikes.
Yeah, fucking up food drives and burning down puppy shelters.
Yeah. He would steal all the food, and then whatever he didn't steal, he would somehow manage to poison the rest of it so that no one could have any of it.
Yeah.
That's Florida Man right there. All right, so what would you give... I'll go first since sure, I'm going to go first this time. I would give this actually a 4.25.
I'm between 4 and 4.25.
Okay.
It's really good.
4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
It's really hitting your wheelhouse.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
This is exactly my kind of thing.
Excellent. So next up, we have the Avery Botanical Coconut Porter. This is a porter with coconut added, aged in bourbon barrels. There's a lot of words on this label that I really, really like. Unfortunately, coconut's not one of those words, but I like bourbon barrel aged quite a bit. 10.1% alcohol by volume.
Are those the words you like?
I also like those words as well. Those are the words that really speak to my heart and really ring true to me.
You're not a coconut beer can it do? Or?
Well, it depends. I have had some coconut beers I thought were amazing. I think what you guys, what Nerd Brewing does with coconut is really good. But quite often it falls into that suntan lotion kind of coconut, and I absolutely despise that. So coconut beers are very hit or miss for me. So I'm very curious as to what we're going to get out of this one.
Well, there is coconut on the nose, but there are also some roasted.
I'm gonna say it's very roasty. I like that. That speaks well for it.
It smells like a Bounty bar.
Yeah, kind of. If that's
alcoholic Bounty bar.
If that is what we end up getting, I'm going to be very excited.
Yeah.
All right. So cheers, guys. Let's jump into this. Yeah. Now this is the kind of coconut I like. It's there. It's a flavor. It adds to the overall enjoyment, but it isn't like suntan lotion.
No.
In this way, the coconut sort of enhances the other porter flavors.
Wow, you really get that Bounty Bar aftertaste, like chocolate and coconut and a little marzipan and.
Yeah.
Definitely marzipan, but that's not a Bounty Bar. So that I was just going to say, it tastes less like a Bounty Bar.
What if you coat a Bounty Bar in marzipan and fry it?
Ooh,
then you're Scottish.
Then you've got a state fair winning treat from any state in America.
And if you were Southern and would award me with this, what would that sound like?
Y'all won the blue ribbon for the best fried good this year.
I love it when you do that.
But wow, yeah, this is really good. I mean, extremely balanced. Coconut's there, but it's not like slap you in the face with some sort of weird artificial coconutty kind of flavor. It's a little toasted. The chocolateness and the aftertaste is really prevalent.
This is so good. I can't even talk about it. It's just like happiness in my glass. I love it.
Yeah, I don't get the like. Sometimes with barrel aged or bourbon barrel aged beers, you get kind of this alcohol-y booziness to it. I honestly don't find that in this.
No, you're right. Talk amongst yourself. I'm gonna be with my beer.
Okay.
It hides the alcohol super well. I still love it. It's a really good rating. But right now I am too much focusing on the marzipan flavor because as soon as you said it, my entire taste palette switched.
Okay.
It really was super noticeable. Where I was tasting no marzipan. As soon as you said a word, it's a sea of marzipan. I actually like marzipan, but I'm trying to get out of the mental taste loop where I'm stuck. Does that make any sense?
No, I get you. Like you hit that note and you're kind of like, that's all you can clue in on now because it rings so true. And there definitely is a strong essence of that.
It's like getting a song stuck in your head.
Yes.
Yeah. It's an earworm of flavor.
So I need to drink more of this.
I think you do.
Get out of it.
You need to just like pound that and then refill and start over again.
Or try breaking it up with barley wine.
That's truer words have never been spoken.
Thank you.
What's weird is it changes the flavor of the barley wine, actually.
Does it?
A little bit.
It kind of numbs the sherry flavors.
But they don't clash.
Not at all.
No.
So you could, if I was drunker and if I was still a student, I might have mixed these together to see what would have happened.
Something like this? What?
What the fuck did you... Oh, okay, all right. So this is a half and half barley wine and porter.
Yep. Ooh, that's really good. Because the barley wine brings up the sweetness level. It doesn't...
Oh, shit, Stefan, you're right. Yeah, Martin, you have to
I don't think I want to try this abomination that you have.
No,
concocted.
it's good. It's a beautiful marriage of flavors.
I like it, but I might not agree that it lifts.
Please, listeners, don't try this at home. You can't just mix beers and hope that
it works out well.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is this kind of, for me, would taste more like a brewery beer at this point.
Yes.
Yeah. Just a lot of different flavors together to create something. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing.
Sort of blown away by this.
All right. So, Karin, would you like to go first on the coconut porter?
4.75.
All right. Martin?
I'm leaning towards a 4.5, which
Okay.
surprises me. I've had this beer before, but in a completely different setting. And I really liked it then. It was like a 4. So I wasn't prepared for this experience. I'm going to go with a 4.5.
Yeah, I think that this is just the right temperature to be served. It's not too cold. I think if it was a little bit colder, it would mute a lot of the flavors.
Yeah.
And I think if it was a little bit warmer, it would be maybe a little too boozy. So I think we're hitting it right at the right temperature. And this is one of those things that falls into that. I can't imagine changing this beer in any way to make it better. I think it really just comes in at exactly what you want it to be, exactly what you expect. I might have to give this actually a 5.
Wow.
Because straight out the gate, I cannot imagine this getting better than what it is right now. I think it can get worse, but I don't think you could change it in some way to make it a better beer, unless you guys can think of a way that it could be shifted.
Yeah, don't call it a fucking porter if it's 10%.
No, but we've been through this a lot. Stout and porter is not an alcohol.
Yeah, but it is an academic question. I know that.
Yeah.
But the thing that I have in my glass, if you just gave it to me, I would say this is stout. Mm-hmm. And nobody wants to hear this discussion. Never mind.
No, but I mean that does actually come to a point where porters are supposed to be a lower ABV. I think a bit lighter. For me, a little smokier in their flavor. I think calling it a porter is a bit of a incorrect title. I think it is actually a stout in the imperial range. But regardless of that, I still find it to be an extremely drinkable, excellent beer.
So to challenge your ideas now, this is still a super tasty beer, but it is a little bit watery compared to a lot of imperial stouts.
But you don't have to call it an imperial stout.
But as soon as we're up in these areas of ABV, we have to call them imperial porters and imperial stouts. I feel like. So when you say that the porters have to be lower alcohol, that might have been true historically, but that barrier has just been broken, especially with imperial porters that can go up to like 14% without anyone raising an eyebrow.
Well, I think the thinness of the mouthfeel is actually one of the things that I really appreciate. Because I think if it was a heavier beer, I think it would detract from the experience.
I somewhat disagree, but everyone knows that I love like imperial stouts that Karin has made, like
the thick ones.
I love a good thick stout.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think that's a wonderful thing.
That's where I want to draw a small distinction between imperial stouts
That's your
and imperial
line.
porters.
That's your line in the sand right there. That's your demarcation line of.
So it has to do with gravity.
Density, gravity, exactly. That's not the historical distinction between stouts and porters. That's like malt based, and I don't know it. I would never have guessed that this is an imperial porter based on a blind tasting, but I can see it now. I'm understanding it now when I taste it and talk about it. But I wanted to say, you asked us, how would we improve this? This one is actually bourbon barrel aged, and I can definitely taste some of the bourbon barrel aging, but I love bourbon barrel aging.
Yeah.
If that had been more prevalent and present in the flavor profile, it would have gotten a 5.
Okay.
So do you want more burble?
Yes, please.
That's not a word.
It would work so well. There is a lot of it. If they made it more, it would still work with the flavor profile of this beer.
Okay. Fair enough.
I've made my rant.
You've
Your last stand.
you planted your flag on the hill, and that's where you're going.
Custer's last stand. No,
There you go.
That's not
No?
good. Custard's last stand.
Custards. All right.
It's sweet and vanilla, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's up to you, man. If you want to die on that hill, I'll let you.
The cake hill.
The cake hill. The Bounty Bar hill of.
Covered with custard sauce. I'll die there.
All right, Karin. Any other thoughts about this?
No. No, I feel I've been talking about this. I love it. I sort of hear what you're saying about mouthfeels. I still think that you can't just make up your own fucking genres of beer. But I'm losing this game now, so I'll just probably have to get on with it.
But when we're talking about made-up beer styles, we were talking earlier about blonde stouts and bullshit like that. But Imperial Porter has to be a real style.
All right, fine. So well, what's it though? It has to do with barley. Yeah, I know.
Well, this uses it has it on the thing here. It uses malted barley, imported specialty German malted barley, and imported specialty English malted barley.
That says nothing.
Well, it was telling you what it says on the label.
What? I'm sorry. I will die on this hill, apparently. No, I'll give up this fight. But the beer was lovely, and thank you so much for bringing it to me.
Yeah, I am, like I said, thoroughly surprised and impressed, and enjoyed this far, far more than I had expected to. So I'm standing by my rating.
Do you want a small, super small writing from the internet?
Oh, are you going to be that guy?
I doubt you can do it, but let's go for it.
No one really agrees anymore what the difference is between stout and porter. The thing that most brewers still agree on is that porters use malted barley and stouts are primarily made from unmalted roasted barley.
All right, well then this falls into a porter category.
No, I disagree. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so if that's the definition, well, see, we've learned something today. That was a beautiful thing.
Been an educational process, and that's what we like to provide here, just education. That's the whole reason we do this.
Of course. The more you know.
Exactly.
Knowledge is power, and power you can use against other people.
Exactly. All right, guys.
That didn't come out at all the way I thought it would.
No, it was beautiful. You summed up everything that we needed.
Fascism.
Psychopaths.
Yeah.
So you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com. Spotify, I want to say LinkedIn, but that's not true. Facebook,
Street graffiti.
Street graffiti, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere you can find podcasts.
Old people's homes.
Especially old people's homes. That's actually our primary audience, is the elderly. We have a special feed into elder care facilities. We're quite proud of that hospice relations that we have.
Oh, you go right into the hearing aid sort of
We do. We have a special tap that goes right into hearing aids. It's a Wi-Fi feed.
They're too weak to turn it off.
Exactly. They can't quite figure out where are these voices coming from. They think it's their own.
This explains schizophrenia.
We are known for enabling schizophrenia among the elderly. So until next time.
Keep drinking, you dum-dums.
Thank you very much.